संस्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतार वरिष्ठाय Ramakrishnaaya te namaha. Dear friends, I want to tell you about this very special project. The Vedanta Center of North Carolina is an ashram which at present has a very small premises, but it has been expanding. The activities of the ashram have expanded, and the footfall of the devotees, large numbers of devotees and interested visitors have been coming here over the last 4-5 years, more than that. And the present facilities are entirely inadequate. Larger facilities are needed for the visitors and those who are going to come in the future. So there is the project of building a universal temple on the land already with the ashram. And this project is imminent. It is, in fact, it has begun and the construction is about to begin very soon. I would like to appeal to one and all to contribute whatever you can, however much you feel comfortable with, to this wonderful project. Sri Ramakrishna used to say that the best use of money is in the service of God and in the service of the holy. I feel that if there is one being who is not ungrateful, it is God. So when we offer our service and our resources, financial resources, or in whichever way we help, it is an offering to the Lord. It is also a very wise and insightful thing to do for the welfare of the community. The large numbers of Indians, immigrants who have settled in this Raleigh-Durham area is a wonderful investment in the future of the children, of your grandchildren. It's an investment in the future of the Hindu community here. The message of harmony and the message of service which goes out from this center and which will go out in the years and decades and centuries from this universal temple, it is of great benefit. It's a great blessing, not only to the community here in Raleigh-Durham, but to the state of North Carolina itself and to the national life of the United States. It's a most wonderful opportunity, and we feel blessed to be part of this great project. Please take part in it and please contribute to the best of your ability. This is my prayer. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.
My name is Kaushik Sen. I'm a physician. Swamiji, it was a wonderful talk. I always enjoy your talks, and I think you are one of the best orators of our time. But I'll have to tell you something that I discovered. Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, when you are talking about that word, you mentioned Buddhism. But Buddhism actually takes this world to be very, very real and doesn't talk about God, doesn't talk about divinity. It only talks about how to, modify your life to get to a good life. But it also takes the theory of transmigration of soul from Vedanta, not from Shankar, but from Vedanta. Now, my question to you is this. It's at the end, Sri Krishna says, Mang Namaskuru, Manmana Bhava. The same way the whole Ramakrishna movement accepts him as an avatara and bow down to him. That point, it becomes dual. So that duality I have struggled to understand.
Yes.
And one more thing.
Yes.
First shloka Vishopadishad, you mentioned. There is the second line says, Tena tatyana bhanjita,
Yes.
ma gridha kasyadhanam. Now the word Tena tatyana bhanjita is a lot of times explained as you enjoy as you give. But is it that if you take something, something goes out of you? If you take something, you lose something. Like we took this world, this country, and we lost our country. Now, in your opinion, what tena taktena bhunjita really means?
So there are a lot of very profound questions. Three questions really. One is the status of the world in Buddhism. Second is, so why is there so much dualistic worship if our fundamental philosophy is non-duality? In the Ramakrishna mission also, and most Hindu organizations, you will find there's plenty of dualistic worship. In the temple here itself will go frankly dualistic. Then third question is, in the Ishu Upanishad, the second line of the first mantra says, Tena tyaktena bhunjitaha ma gridhakasya svidhanam. What is the meaning of that Tena tyaktena, that exact significance? So all of these can constitute one full lecture or more than one lecture. But I just give you, since many of us have been studying, you have definitely been studying, so you will catch immediately. Buddhism, does it consider the world to be real? I have to give a nuanced answer. I said Vedanta has taken the idea of falsity of the world from Buddhism. This is a very general sweeping statement. But in Buddhism, let's take the four major schools. Vaibhashika, Sautrantika, Yogachara, Vijnanavada and Madhyamaka Shunyavada. Among them, the first two consider the world to be real. The second two consider the world to be false. The first two, which form the basis of the Theravada or the Hinayana school, they consider the world to be a flux, a continuous movement of matter and energy and thought and all of that. So, kshanikam, momentary and a series of flashes. Then the Yogachara Vijnanavada school considers the world to be false. It's an idealistic school which says only mind is real. Whatever appears in the mind is nothing other than mind. So there is no external world there. That's a Mahayana school. And the Shunyavada school from Nagarjuna onwards, they consider the nature of the world as Shunyam, as Swabhava Shunyam. It's empty. Now, the second question, dualistic worship is included within Advaita. You will notice, not only us or here or in the temple, if you go to the Shankar Mat in Sringeri, in Puri, if you see the non-dualistic monks, they have no hesitation in going to a temple and worshipping. After all, if I can walk and talk and eat, if I can drive and hold a job, what is the harm in bowing down to God? All of the activities that we do in the field as the knower of the field, all activities are dualistic. The moment you have field and knower of the field, it has emerged. But what Advaita Vedanta is saying, it is a superimposition. It's an appearance. The truth is non-duality. The appearance is duality. See, non-duality and duality are contradictory. Both cannot be true. But real non-duality is compatible with an appearance of duality. Yes, a real movie screen is compatible, which is only one and uniform, is compatible with 100 different movies you can play on it. But all the time it is one movie screen. So that's the answer. Non-duality can accommodate duality at the level of appearance. That's the classical Advaita answer to it. Then there are many subtleties. Aurobindo had his own views, Vivekananda had his own views. Coming to Tena Tyaktena Bhunjita, I refer you to Swami Vivekananda's interpretation of this. He says, this knowledge, this realization, it's all one divine unity. This is the renunciation with which you can engage the world. Tena Tyaktena, by that renunciation, enjoy the world or experience the world. Shankaracharya's explanation is different. Protect this knowledge of Advaita by renunciation, which leads directly to monasticism. Give up dualistic engagement. You realize yourself as Aham Brahmasmi. Remain actually as a monk. That is one interpretation, Adi Shankaracharya. Vivekananda differs. He says it's not meant for monks only. It is for everybody. And that realization, Ishavasyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat, there is one divinity in this entire world of diversity. That knowledge, that realization, that is the renunciation. Not actually physically giving this one away, giving that one. In the world, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, you see the divinity in all beings, seeing God in everybody. Vivekananda, I am quoting him. But does it mean that you will give up your wife and children and run away into the forest? No. It means you see God in the husband, you see God in the wife, you see God in the children, you see God in the people we are with. The same divinity everywhere, with eyes open and eyes closed. Sri Ramakrishna used to say in Bengali, "Chok bando korle tini achen, chok khulle tini nei, kemon ishwar." By closing my eyes, God, I can find God within. And opening my eyes, God is not there. This is world. What kind of God is that? Just by closing the eyes, it will disappear. So this is the answer. Yes, please come.
Just one thing. Sorry, just before you ask the question, we are going to serve dinner, but once question and answer session is done, we'll serve dinner after that. Thank you.
Yes.
Pranam Swamiji. I am blessed to see you here today and hear you.
Tell us your name.
My name is Ramachandra Rao. My question is about, and I'm in the presence in a temple, but I'm asking this. In Hinduism, we have many gods and we perform idol worship. And in Advaita Vedanta, we heard you say that's only one God. It's all pervasive and all that stuff. But in other religions, there's only one God, right? They don't do idol worship. And also we pray to stones and animals and trees and things like that. So how do I answer this clearly if somebody asks this?
Yes.
And especially young people.
Yes.
So please give me a clarity on that.
Yes. So in Hinduism, as you heard till now, there is one divinity which is all pervasive. There's one divinity which is all pervasive, one non-dual. In fact, there is nothing else except that divinity, nothing else except Brahman. Swami Vivekananda said, we Hindus worship a transcendent, immanent God. A God who is beyond time, space and creation, beyond everything. But also a God who is in and through everything. It is the same God, the same existence, consciousness, place, which is appearing as everything. Didn't we just say the whole universe is an appearance in consciousness? So whatever appears in consciousness is pervaded through and through by that one consciousness. This, the whole here, everywhere, that same divinity, we would expect it to be right there. Well, there should be nothing else except that one divinity. Now this insight from the Upanishads, the Hindus have taken and transformed into a wonderful technology of worshipping God, which is by invoking the divine presence. You can invoke it in images. What is the harm? Is there, in fact, I said once, worshipping God in an image is not just to say that the image is a symbol of God. We often try to explain it this way. There is God who is separate, but this image is a symbol through which we can't see God. We are using the image as a symbol. That may be fine, but that's not the final answer. It is to correct the wrong idea that that image is not God. If there is one divinity everywhere, only one divinity, and you say, accept that image. Why? Vivekananda said, if image worship produced one like Ramakrishna, worship 1,000 images, I say. So this hesitation that Hindus have about image worship comes from a long history of persecution by Muslims and Christian missionaries and so on and so forth. So it went into the educated Hindu mind. It's something lower to worship images. Without images, so God can't be worshipped in images. Nonsense. Nonsense. You cannot understand Advaita Vedanta unless you understand. If you understand Advaita Vedanta, then you understand the secret of image worship also. Why it can be worshipped. Why Sri Ramakrishna attaining Nirvikalpa Samadhi would again go back to the temple of Ma Kali and bow down there. Because he experienced the same divinity everywhere. In fact, if I say my divinity is one and supreme, except not in the image, then your divinity is not even a divinity. It's limited. There is something that your divinity is not. Yes. That's why I say in Hinduism, there is any question you ask, the answer is yes and no. Do Hindus worship, do they believe in God? Yes and no. Sankhyas never talk about God. Yeah. In Hinduism, is God without form? Yes and no. Go to the temple, you'll see God with form galore. One form, yes and no. Many forms also. Is God male? Yes and no. God is male, God is female, God is a human form, without human form, elemental form, sky and fire. That's why Hinduism, we use the word Purnam. If you say God is formless and not with form, your idea of God is not Purnam. It's not complete. It's incomplete. What you're saying is not wrong, but it's incomplete. If you say God is only male, cannot be female, your idea of God is not Purnam. It is incomplete. If you say God can be worshipped only in a symbol, not in the, say, image of human or a non-human animal also even, then I'll say your idea of God is incomplete. It's not Purnam. Hinduism has a Purnam conception of God. A complete, all-encompassing. If you don't like it in this way, there is that way. If you don't like that way, there is that way. 1,000 different doors are open to you. Swami Ashokananda ji, who was in the Vedanta Society in Northern California in 1950s, 60s, he would say, where will you see God? Foolish question. Where will you not see God? To the enlightened one with eyes closed and eyes open, the same divinity. In the image, in the human being, Vivekananda said the greatest temple of God is the human spirit in the human body. So in the human being, in the world appearance, yes, in the mountain, in Arunachala, in holy river, in Ganga, Sri Ramakrishna used to say, Pratyaksha Brahma, visible Brahman on this earth, three things. He would say that dust, very dust of Vrindavan, where the gopis and Krishna played Ras Leela. The prasad of Jagannath and the water of Ganga. He would say Pratyaksha Brahma, visible Brahman. And this is not against Advaita. This is the thing. Once you begin to understand Advaita, you begin to see it is the bedrock of whole of Hinduism. It supports, it gives a philosophical justification and grounding to these practices in Hinduism. So it does not require explanation. It requires explanation. What kind of God are you talking about which is other than this thing? So your God is infinite minus bottle. Why? What kind of God are you thinking about? That cannot be God. Anything that is not infinite cannot be God. Infinite cannot exclude anything. So, yes.
My name is Manivanan Ravichandran. Actually, I think I got introduced to you through some YouTube. First from IIT Kanpur, 3 minutes distinction between mind and consciousness, and the other one was in 1 hour in Helsinki. I've probably seen a lot of your YouTube stuff. So in any case, I have actually 2 questions, but I'll start with one and probably leave the other one for you to...
You have to speak on the microphone, yes.
Answer in detail in one of your lectures. You have talked about it, but I'm not satisfied with that answer. Anyway, so first question is that if I want to do systematic study of Vedanta, I have basically looked at the introduction to the Gita by various people, and it's very clearly said that essentially don't get confused by reading a lot of stuff, just read the Gita. And of course there are 770 verses, and each time I have read it at various ages, I have got something different out of it. So my question to you is that basically, instead of looking at so many things, if I just continue systematic study of Gita, is that good enough?
It's good enough. It's good enough.
Okay. So since you have given a brief answer, I'll do my second question.
Yes. If you want one text,
Okay.
one text, Bhagavad Gita is enough. Bhagavad Gita contains the essence of all the Upanishads. Upanishads are the foundational texts of Vedanta.
Okay. I will just leave it with the thought for Swamiji. This is basically the role of free will. And what, whether we have free will or not, as in chapter 334 of Bhagavad Gita, I have not actually heard you address that directly. You said we have free will and we don't have free will. Anyway, I'll wait for your answer.
Just Google Sarvapriyananda free will. You will get an answer.
I request everyone to be very focused in asking your question. There are quite a few people waiting. Just be very focused on your question.
Pranam. Swamiji. My name is Robin Day. I'm from Los Angeles visiting. My question is kind of a personal one, but I think personal for all of us. In the gospel, you kind of get this sense from Ramakrishna, this divine compassion and almost a motherly love that he channels in some of the chapters, and when you were talking about the field today and your mind as part of that, it still is interacting with this ultimate reality, right, that we call God. I'm curious, and this is kind of a personal question, what is your relationship with God? And it's a question for all of us. I think by you even sharing a little bit of that, I think we'll all think about it, because this room is full of people of all different backgrounds, doctors, engineers, etc.
That's an easy one to answer. Mm-hmm. In Vedanta, we regard God at 4 levels. There's a very old saying in Hindi that Rama, there are 4 Ramas. Actually, it's only one, but there are 4 Ramas. What are the 4 Ramas? Ek Ram Dasharath ka beta, Duja Ram Jagat Pasera, Tisra Ram Ghat Ghat mein leta, और चौथा राम सबसे न्यारा. So the Rama is understood at 4 levels. One is the son of Dasharatha, the person. And you relate to that person as avatar, incarnation of God. You make a temple of Ramchandra and bow down. There are images here in the temple. So you're relating to a personal God. Krishna appears like that in Bhagavad Gita. Many times when he says, I, he means the person Krishna, the son of Vasudeva Krishna. That's one understanding of God. And you can relate. What does God mean to be? God means incarnation of God, the personal God, Rama Krishna. For me, Sri Ramakrishna. So I can relate like that to my Lord. Second, Dusra Ram. He says, Jagat Pasera. That is the God of religion, the creator of the world. In every religion, when you talk about God, theistic religion, the definition will be that which has created the world. Upanishads also say this. From which the whole universe has come, in which it exists, into which it disappears finally. So the second Rama is the creator of the universe. How? Rama is an incarnation of Vishnu. So Vishnu is the creator of the universe, that omnipresent, omniscient. What we basically understand by the word God. That's the second relationship. That God exists. Third, Tisra Ram Ghat Ghat mein leta. That third Rama is in every entity of the universe, what we are talking about today, Ishavasyam idam sarvam, pervading this entire universe through and through. Wherever you can find God. You can find it in the image, you can find it in a human being, you can find anywhere, in the sky, in the earth, anywhere. So all pervading reality, immanent reality. That's also how I relate to God. I know God is present everywhere. Finally, the Advaitic idea. The Chautha Ram Sabse Nyara. The fourth one is the Nirguna Nirakara Brahma. Very beautiful song. If you like, you can hear it. Kumar Gandharva sang, Kabir Das song. Ram Niranjan Nyara Re. Ram Niranjan Nyara Re. Very beautifully he has sung. So that is the fourth one. Nirguna Nirakara. Beyond time, space, object, beyond name, beyond form, inconceivable by thought, unspeakable by language. The ultimate reality, Nirguna Nirakara Brahman. That's also Rama. These are the ways in which I relate to God. And this is a classical Advaitin will always relate in these ways, yes.
Namaskar Swamiji. I'm Anil Pandya. I'm from here, Kerry. The question, when you say that we are like different, our kshetra, and we are the observer of the kshetra, in that sense, when we have a reincarnation of, is it of the body or of the soul, and when we have this.
Let's stop there. Is that the question? Reincarnation? Is that the question?
No. So the question is, so the karma, is it attached to the kshetra or is it attached to the knower of the kshetra? That's my question.
Yes. So karma, whom does karma belong to? What does it affect? The straight answer is, it's part of the kshetra. If it is knowable, if it is experienceable, it will be part of the kshetra, part of the field. It's not you, it's part of the field. Only thing is, we do karma and we experience results of karma when we become entangled with, attached to the field. By ignorance, not knowing our real nature, I think I am this person. And I do these actions, and therefore I will get the results of these actions in this life or the next life. Freedom from this is to realize who I am truly, that I am Brahman. This process of inquiry will lead me to that. Without inquiry, the knower of the field becomes the target of all karmas. The doer of karma, the target of the result of karmas. But straight answer to your question, where is karma? In field knower or knower on the field? It's in the field. It's objective. It's nothing to do with us really. Practically we are caught in it due to our ignorance, because we have, see, the bottle is here. If I catch hold of this, then I'm also catching hold of the bottle. So if I catch hold of the field, karma will also affect me. Field knower is not affected by karma in its real nature as pure consciousness. Field knower under the spell of ignorance is very much affected by karma. Yes.
Namaskar, Swamiji. I am Kiran. I have one question. As we kind of look at Dridrisha Viveka or Avastatraya Viveka or even Panchakosha Viveka that you spoke just now, at the fifth step, when we actually do the to whom the blankness appears, how do we make that switch? Is it an effort or is it a grace?
Really speaking, it's a grace, and practically it's an effort. The effort, I'll just give you the hint. It's a very subtle effort. The effort is this. See, all effort will always be in the field. How do I know the Shuddha, the pure knower of the field? It's like this. Never try to grasp yourself as pure consciousness, as Atman or Brahman. You can't. Whatever we grasp is an object. Whatever we grasp is part of the field. It's an object. So if I try to grasp, I am pure consciousness, I'm making that into the part of the field. You can't. Then what can we do? Rather do the opposite. Whatever appears to me, body, mind, thought, idea, all of that keep dismissing. In fact, there are two ways. I am the witness of it all. I'm not trying to be the witness. Whatever comes to me, I'm the witness of it. I am not it. That will, at one moment, suddenly it will flash upon me. Sri Ramakrishna said there's no way of putting it in language. He said, Bodhe bodh kara. Awareness of awareness. Or consciousness self-luminously manifesting. It is self-luminously manifesting all the time. We suddenly, at one point, see it. Say, oh my God, this was always there. Which is called, Vivekananda called it the open secret. So, the key is that don't try to grasp yourself. I am the knower of the field. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham. No, I am not this. Notice, Shankaracharya says not this 3 lines. And then 4th line only Chidananda Rupa Shivoham. Every shloka, say Nirvana Shatakam. 3 lines are Neti Neti. Then only Chidananda Rupa Shivoham.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste.
Thank you so much for an enlightening talk, and very fortunate to be here. So the quick question we had, kind of continuation, is what is true surrender mean? Sharanagati. Is it surrendering to your true self? And how can it be accomplished with all the bondage that we have, raga, dvesha, pulling us in all directions?
Yes. True surrender means, a real belief in the existence of God will lead to true surrender. We give Satchidananda, that's true surrender from a Vedantic perspective. From a dualistic, devotional perspective, just relax with God. Hold on to God, sincerely believing that God is taking care of everything. Everything is happening by the will of God. And trying to live like that. Very difficult. Our personality kicks in. When things go our way, God is very gracious. When things don't go our way, oh my God. Then it is my will, not God's will. I love that story. I've told other times also. One sadhu I saw in the Himalayas. I heard the story. I didn't see this sadhu. He, among all sadhus, used to go for begging for food. Only this one did not. He lived in a cave, and the villagers respected him so much they would bring the food. Like this. So some of you can go there and stand, and you'll be served food. But some, maybe the person will come and give you food. So the devotees would come and give food to this sadhu. And he would always sing and dance. Mera yaar khilata hai. I don't go for begging. My friend, yaar is sort of Hindi for buddy. He used to call God mera yaar, my friend. Who feeds you? My friend feeds me. Friend means capital F, God. Now one day they wanted to test how much was his surrender to God. So that day they didn't bring food at the appointed hour. And the villagers, they watched from a distance behind a rock. What happens to the monk? And the monk came out of the cave to see where is the food. No food. He went back. Every 5-10 minutes he would come out and look. No food. In the evening, I hope they gave him food at the end of the day. But evening they went and asked, well, what happened? Didn't your friend feed you today? Yaar nahi khilaya. Didn't your friend feed you today? And the monk danced and he sang, Chalo aaj meri yaar ki chali, chalo aaj meri yaar ki chali. Today is wonderful, especially wonderful because the will of my friend was done today. What does it mean? Every day I want to eat and my friend does what I want, feeds me. My beloved friend, my God feeds me because I want to eat, I am hungry. Today also I want to eat, I am hungry. But today his will was not my will. His will was I should remain hungry, he will not feed me. I am so happy today his will was done, not my will. Chalo aaj meri yaar ki chali. It's difficult to accept. My love of God must predominate over my desires. Only then they can accept that. Yes.
Namaste, Swamiji. Thank you for always being very enlightening. My question is based on Buddhism and Mahayana Buddhism and Advaita. They both derive from Upanishads in some way, and they're both non-dual.
Buddhists would be very angry if you say that. But we believe that. We believe that.
Yes.
We believe that.
They're both non-dual in nature, but while one talks of ultimate consciousness as being the ultimate reality, Buddhism says there is no primordial entity, there is no ultimate consciousness. How does Vedanta justify its way of thinking? And the second part of this is Samsara and Nirvana. They are, in Buddhist way of thinking, they're both part of the same reality. Is that same for Advaita, or is it?
Yes, yes. Second answer, a straight answer to the second one, yes. The Buddhist will say Samsara and Nirvana are like a magical display on the primordial ground of being. We Advaitins will say 100 marks. We agree fully with you. That primordial ground of being, we only call it Buddha, we call it Brahman. You call it the Dharmakaya or the Tathagata Garbha. So for Advaitins also, once you realize what is Brahman, you will see in ignorance that same Brahman appeared as samsara. In knowledge, enlightenment, that same Brahman appears to you as moksha. So moksha and samsara both are appearances of one Brahman. It's not that Brahman is only there in moksha, not there in samsara. It's there in samsara also, the same reality. And the Buddhists say the same thing also. Now your first question, ultimate reality, is there an ultimate reality? And Buddhists don't speak about it or deny it also. It's interesting that you should ask that. Please see, I've given 2 talks, especially one talk I've given, you just look at it, it's called emptiness. 5 levels of understanding of shunyata in Buddhism. Theravada understanding, the mind-only school, the Chittamatra school understanding, the Mahayana, the Madhyamaka school, Swatantrika and Prasangika understanding, and finally what is called the Shentong school. So 5 levels of understanding of emptiness. One is Theravada, the other 4 are Mahayana. And you will see where it is different from Vedanta and where it comes close. Thank you.
Pranam Swamiji. Nice to see you and fortunate to see you in person. My big fundamental is asking this question in a way from the 11th chapter of Gita. Arjuna insisted to show the real Swarup, and Krishna kind of gave Divya Chakshu or something, and then shows the 1,000 sun, and so all the character shows up. So what was it? Was it to prove it that I'm in all?
Yes.
That's one, or is it something to do with the Maya? But
Yes.
it still doesn't reflect. It doesn't prove the veiling power. It's just projecting power only. Is that my correct understanding?
Yes.
Can you
Now-
elaborate? Thank you.
So, what happened in the 11th chapter? Arjuna, in 10th chapter, Krishna talked about the presence of the divine in all beings, Vibhuti Yoga. But Arjuna said, all right, I believe. He says that, I believe whatever you have said. But I want an experience. Because you are saying I am the one reality in this entire universe. But I am seeing you as the charioteer Krishna. Can I experience this cosmic form Vishwarupa. Can I see this whole universe as one conscious reality? And then you have to be careful what you ask for. Krishna said, all right, you're my friend, very dear to me. It's a very rare thing, but I'll give you the vision. And he gives him the vision. And he has this tremendous vision. The most dramatic part of the Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter, Vishwarupa Darshana. Vishwarupa, the Darshana Yoga is there. So, what happens? What does it mean? It's like seeing the entire universe together in one. We are seeing the universe, but we are seeing it in bits and pieces. Now you're seeing this hall. After a little bit, you will see the world outside the hall. You are seeing time, but in a flow from birth, babyhood, childhood, teenage, middle age. You're seeing time. We are all seeing time in a flow. But suppose it is somehow possible to see everything, everybody, everywhere, every when, all at once in one being. What a stunning experience would that be. I often compare it to, Arjuna was terrified actually. He got what he wanted, but what was the result? It scared him out of his wits. He was terrified, he was scared. He said, stop this, go back to your human form. I don't want this. Every hair on his body stood on the end. I'll give an example. I do a lot of public speaking. Public speaking is scary. We've all had that experience. When you stand up before an audience, it feels scary. Why? As psychologists said, there's a reason. Animals, in the animal world, staring is a sign of aggression. So if you stare continuously, stare at a dog is sitting quietly minding its own business. You go and stare at a dog continuously. The dog will look up at you. Now either it will growl at you or it will quietly slink away. It feels uneasy. If you directly, notice how we talk to each other. The psychologists have studied eye contact. We make eye contact, then we look away. Then we make eye contact and look. Generally, you don't stare. Unless the boss is scolding you, then you'll stare. So, aggression is connected with staring. But what happens is, in public speaking, there are 300 people staring at you. You know they're waiting to listen to you. But your subconscious mind does not know that. Your animal brain doesn't know that. It triggers a fight or flight response. And that's why people immediately feel frozen. Initially. Slowly you get used to public speaking. Now imagine this is what is happening when 300 people are staring at you. The biggest audience I have faced in India once, 14,000 people. Live, sitting there. But that's nothing like what Arjuna experienced. Imagine not 300, not 14,000. Imagine all 8 billion people in this world and whoever lived earlier and afterwards and all the animals and sentient beings all in one being towering before you and then turns and looks at you. How will you feel? That's why it's terrifying. That's what Arjuna saw. The entire universe gathered together in one conscious being. Yes. Tell us your name and ask the question.
My name is Walker Hammond. May I congratulate you on a wonderful lecture and keeping such great company.
Thank you.
I haven't met nicer people in my life than the Vedanta Society here. They're very good people. My question is something about the nature of reality itself in the context of Hinduism. I'm trying to put all these pieces together, and I realize some questions just don't have answers. But if you had any thoughts on the nature of conflict, I suppose. In Hinduism, in Vedanta, we're the witness, we're the knower, and that's enlightenment. But in our bodies, there's conflict. On the microscopic level, little conflicts are happening all the time. And all the doctors in the room know that if a body doesn't have conflict, it develops problems later in life, like allergies. Your immune system needs exercise. Yeah. There's 5 pounds of bacteria in you and on you that aren't even you. You might as well be a planet all by yourself. So in this way, the conflict is harmony. So too it is in nature. All of the plants and animals and everything fighting. And that's harmony. But it's also conflict, bloodshed, horror, war. Like Heraclitus said, war is the father of all things. So, I don't know.
So any thoughts on that? Yes, I'm glad you brought it up. So all this time we have been speaking about one limitless reality, one Brahman, one divine unity. But as the gentleman has pointed out, that's fine. But look at the world. It's not one divine unity. There's continuous conflict. As you pointed out, the best example is our own bodies, our skin. It is the borderline where tremendous fighting is going on. And if it were not so, we wouldn't be alive. Our bodies resisting continuous attacks. Your wars going on in the world are nothing compared to what's going on with every human body every day. So, what about this divine unity, one Brahman everywhere? But we see conflict everywhere. So this is where an important aspect of Vedanta comes in. Once you have manifestation, once you have diversity, manifestation means diversity. Once you have diversity, you will have interaction. Interaction will be of many kinds, including lots and lots of conflict, clashes in the field itself. Now, what can Vedanta do here? So I'm glad he asked the question. What is the practical consequence of Vedanta in this world? The practical consequence of Vedanta, philosophically it is oneness. Practically, he himself said it, it's harmony. So in the midst of conflict, if you want to practice spirituality, if you want to practice Vedanta, what do? You work for harmony. You don't work for oneness. You can't, in the manifestation, you can't have oneness. You can't have one religion for all. You can't have one size fits all. Sameness is death. Diversity is life. So the underlying divine oneness in this world of chaos and confusion and conflict has to be expressed as harmony. So instead of all religions fighting with each other, or no religion, or one religion, none of which are good. Rather, let all religions prosper. There can be difference. Difference does not mean fighting. Difference can mean harmony. That was Sri Ramakrishna's teaching. One of the central teachings which we have in the Vedanta society, the harmony of religions. Not trying to convert somebody from one religion to another, not trying to destroy religions, not trying to say there should be no religion at all, but rather let there be these religions and many more if necessary. But harmony between religions. Not just harmony between religions. Extend it further. Harmony between science and religion. Harmony between work and rest. Harmony between nations and so on. So that's the answer to, the Vedantic answer to conflict. Clear fact of conflict. I'm glad you raised allergies. A doctor told me today, you see the dust on the table? That's not dust. In North Carolina, everybody knows what it is. In this season, it's pollen. So it's allergies. And that's conflict. And conflict by itself is not, as you pointed out, it's not ultimately unproductive or harmful. Try to actually remove all conflict and you will have maybe disease. You will have other terrible problems, allergies and more of that. So harmony is important. Yeah, in principle. Yes.
Guruji Pranam. Just a quick update. Yesterday you advised me to think of my children as God. I've started calling them Thakur and it's very satisfying.
Do it internally. As I said, don't externally, they'll take advantage of you.
Yes. So my question today is, I've spent about 20 years of my life as an atheist. And I realized that the Bhakti Marg is closed for me. I've studied Mandukya with you and I find that very satisfying. But I can't pray. My atheism prevents me from praying. So what marg is open to me?
Love. You don't have to pray. Love. You don't have to pray to God. Love God. So my Mandukya Upanishad, my Vedanta tells me that one divinity, which I am, is also present in all beings. So as this person, how do I relate to other persons? I know I am the ground of the field and knower of the field. But as one knower of the field, in this particular field, how do I relate to myself in all of those other fields? The relationship will be one of love. Yes.
Guruji, namaskara. My name is Hitesh. So we live in an era of artificial intelligence. It's a mathematical abstract model. It has no birth, death, no body, no mind. So it's not bound to karma, liberation, all the other things which are separated from the knower. So how would we define artificial intelligence? Is it the knower? Is it the field? how do we define it with Advaita philosophy?
It's part of the field, and we would say it is not a knower. Advaita Vedanta will say, in fact, this is a clear way of distinguishing consciousness from the field. Here you have one aspect of the field. Today we have these extraordinarily clever machines which mimic human intelligence, human creativity, speech, many activities of the human being which we thought were unique to human beings. But now these machines are doing it, and often doing it better than us. So even Advaita Vedanta, they are doing nice Advaita Vedanta also, this AI. Except one thing, they can't do one thing. What's that one thing? They are not conscious. And don't ask, how do you know? Ask the experts. Those people who are working in this field, those companies which have invested millions and millions of dollars and are investing money to make these machines, these programs, AI. Ask them, what's your budget for consciousness? 0. Are you willing to say, it took us enormous effort, enormous talent and years of work and tremendous amounts of computational power and tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to make this machine artificially creative, artificially intelligent, to write an essay. But without doing anything, it has become automatically conscious? No, you can't say that. So these machines are not conscious. So it's a good, I use AI for this purpose, to do that at initial viveka, kshetra kshetragya, prakriti purusha, consciousness and matter. Therefore, there's one thing, it shows what we thought was I'm intelligent, I'm creative. No, intelligence is part of nature. Creativity is part of nature. Therefore, AI can mimic it. But you, the consciousness, are not part of nature. You are the knower of nature. You are the knower of the field. And therefore, the field cannot mimic you. Therefore, the AI cannot mimic you.
Can I ask a follow-up?
Yeah, quick.
If...
No follow-up question. Okay. Everybody is hungry.
Yeah, Namaskar Swamiji. My
Yes.
name is Saksham, and I have like quick questions. I don't want to hold anyone back. So my question is like, you were mentioning that like everyone has some consciousness in them, which is like, and it's the same in everyone.
No. All the talk was, the central point was not that everybody has some consciousness in them. The central point was, you are consciousness.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant to say. And that is like, that's basically God. So that means that everyone has like, everyone is basically God, like in a sense.
Yeah, in a sense.
But how should we bring like those godly qualities in like our daily life?
That's a very good question, really good question. Religion, spirituality, according to Vivekananda, is not just realizing that I am pure consciousness or I am Brahman, but also manifesting those qualities in life. Therefore, Vivekananda's wonderful definition of religion or spirituality, it is the manifestation of the divinity already within us. That's his question. Not just knowledge of the divinity within us, actually living it. So if you say that somebody has attained moksha, somebody has become enlightened, we would expect some of the qualities of Vivekananda in that person. We would expect some of the qualities of Buddha in that person. Not just, I know this. What is your life like? Have you solved the problems of your own life? And are you a blessing for others also? Or are you a problem for others? It was a problem before he became spiritual, now he's become spiritual, more problem. Then that's not enlightenment. So yes, so manifestation of the qualities of us, what we call spiritual qualities. Again and again, for example, in the Bhagavad Gita, these are mentioned. In 13th chapter, which I was just talking about, after these verses, a few verses later, Krishna talks about 20 such manifestations. Amanitvam, adambhitvam, ahimsa, kshanti, rajyavam. What we call the moral qualities. Basically being a good person. That's why basically enlightenment means it should translate you into you becoming a saint, veritably, practically a saint. You know, the old idea is absolutely correct. So, living that. Now you work it out as homework. If I am not the body, my knowledge shows me I am immortal consciousness. Should I be afraid of death? No. So I'll be free of the fear of death. I should be. If I am afraid of death, then there is a conflict between my knowledge, what I seem to know and how I act in life. That has to be resolved. So Vivekananda says the manifestation, not just knowledge of the divinity. One should go beyond fear. One should be peaceful, happy. One should be in a sort of an all-encompassive, non-exclusive love for everybody. At least be a well-wisher to the whole world, because it is your own expansion, this an entire world. All these will follow or should follow. If they do not follow, then there is something wrong with that enlightenment. They should follow. Now, why does this follow? Because on the path to enlightenment, as we go through life, we are trying to cultivate these qualities over time. This is the meaning of maturity. Forget spirituality, religion, even psychological maturity means turning from a child into an adult. From a mischief maker, for example, into a cooperative person who is good for society. Over time, we realize that's a wise way of being. An unwise way of being is selfish. A wise way of being is unselfish. An unwise way of being is scared. A wise way of being is being brave. Unwise way of being is dishonest. A wise way of being is ultimately honest. Unwise way of being is selfish. A wise way of being is selfless. So these come slowly, and if we are spiritual, the whole process is accelerated. That's a very good point to end this topic on. If you're really spiritual, these qualities should and must manifest in our lives. Thank you very much. Thank you.